There's the young right-hander, Dwight Gooden. Last year,
he did it all.
He sure did. 19-4 at Lynchburg, 300 strikeouts. Won a couple of games at Tidewater, I believe, didn't he?
He won one game he won one and lost one in the playoffs, and then won another one in the Little World Series. So that's 21 victories in the minors last year.
The Astros line up the same as last night. And Bill Doran set to lead off against Gooden. Gooden, whose parents are here watching. Doran takes a ball.
Here's a fellow, as Doran steps in, Jim, that's 19 years old plus, and what we're talking about the last inning was how many pitches does he have? He obviously, by looking at his stats, throws hard. He's up in the 90s, I assume, and probably doesn't use a whole lot besides that at this stage.
He's gonna go through this whole baseball season. There's a tap on the right side. Doran may have broken the bat, and Gardenhire throws him out. He will go through this season 19. He will not turn 20 until November. He's a young 19.
19, 4 months and 22 days. I was trying to figure out what Nolan Ryan was when he first pitched for the Mets. Nolan was 19 years old, but he didn't come up, I don't think, till later in the season, so he's older than this young man.
Terry Poole, the batter, 1 for 4 last night. The Mets have had a few 19-year-olds, haven't they, or teenagers play for them.
I think they've had about 5. I think that there have been 2 pitchers. I think the note said that there have been 2 pitchers younger than Gooden is to start for the Mets, or to pitch for the Mets.
Kendo was an everyday player last year at 19. There's a strike. 0-2 to Poole, and of course Crane Poole is the one that first comes to mind, the first one they had.
I always remember Crane Poole. I always associate Ed with Rusty. They came up about the same time, both as I think 18, 19-year-olds.
2 strikes on Poole.
Rusty's longevity a little more than Crane Poole's.
Yeah. Misses inside, ball 1, strike 2.
Gooden pitched at Lynchburg last night. That was an A league, and he led the Carolina League. He had 6 shutouts in that league last year, and was pitcher of the year for the Carolina League.
Poole takes that one, and it misses outside, 2-2. At one time last year, he won 15 in a row.
Well, his record last year was what, 19 and what?
4, I believe, at Lynchburg.
I guess if that's your record, you're going to win some in a row, aren't you? With only 4 losses. Well, that sounded just like the first one.
It sure did. And the same result as Gardenhire throws out Poole.
That's another interesting thing. Both of the balls, I think that, like you mentioned, that Doran broke his bat on the one that he hit, and the one that Poole just hit there, a very hard sound. And usually, we call it, he throws a very hard pitch. That is, it's usually a fastball that sinks. And you get that kind of a sound out of a bat when it's hit to the infield, and a good fastball that comes down.
Dickie Thon off to a good start this year, hitting over 400, takes a strike. Was 1 for 4 last night. All 4 hits for the Astros came in the first. They're the parents. They came over from Florida to watch Dwight Gooden in his big league debut. On the foul tip, it's 0-2. First 4 batters in the Astro lineup had all the hits last night.
He has pitched in 38 minor league games, has won 24 and lost 9. Kind of interesting to look at his stats, Jim. A 2.57 ERA in the minors, and he struck out 344 batters in 270 innings.
Oh. Gets his first strikeout here. The Astros down in order in the first. Dwight Gooden, impressive. Couple of ground balls on the right side, and then he strikes out Dickie Thon. So we've played an inning, and we have no score. The Astros and the Mets.